Hello, and welcome to Jolineknitsalot. This is my show about knitting and crafting and the things I get up to here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. It's the end of November, and if you are like me, you're thinking about the holiday season and things you'd like to make for the people that you love. I have some ideas on gifts that you can make using yarn that you have in your stash and hopefully very little time to create some thoughtful gifts for the people that you love. So let's dive in. The first gift idea I have is for the readers in your life, and that's just a little bookmark. This little bookmark is called the Linen Stitch bookmark. You can find patterns for a number of different bookmarks on Ravelry. This is a free pattern, and I've just used a little bit of sock weight or fingering weight yarn left over from my stash. This is a thoughtful gift, and I know I have received bookmarks in the past that I use all the time. So if you have a reader in your life, a bookmark is a great gift. This again is the Linen Stitch bookmark. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I'll link to it in the show notes below. The next gift idea I have for you is something that I have made in past years, and I'm making them again this year, and that's tiny little scarves. This is the Pressed Flowers Kerchief. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it used less than half a skein of sport weight yarn for the main color and also for the contrast color. This is a thoughtful gift that you can make with about 50 grams of the main color yarn. In this case, I used a sport weight yarn for the main color. And again, I used less than 50 grams. The contrast color here, I used less than 30 grams. So if you have small amounts of yarn lying around, you could make these up for people in your life. For this pattern, it is written for a DK weight yarn, but you can use a different weight of yarn if that's what you have in your stash. Just know that it takes about 50 grams for the main color and about 30 grams for the contrast. And then you can adjust the size based on how many pattern repeats you do. So this is, again, the Pressed Flowers Kerchief. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, but another pattern that I have made in the past is the Sophie Scarf. It is a popular pattern for a reason, because it's very easy and enjoyable to work up. You can use whatever yarn you have in your stash, and it makes a very thoughtful and lovely gift. So small scarves are a great gift idea this holiday season. The next gift idea I have for you is a cup cozy. I'll include instructions for these in the show notes below. They're really quite simple to knit, and I have knit them using all sorts of different weights of yarn. So this one is upside down, and I knitted out of fingering weight yarn, just some leftovers from a pair of socks that I had made. And then this one is on chunky weight yarn left over from a sweater I had created. So you can use whatever yarn you have in your stash, and I will give you some really easy instructions in the show notes below. I have made these a number of times for gifts for people in my life, whether it's teachers' gifts or people I work with, and I often will give them with an empty cup from a coffee shop that I like or that is close to you, and a gift card tucked inside. So this is a reusable gift. I keep mine in my purse, and I use it all the time. And so this is a lovely little gift that you can make for the coffee or tea drinker in your life. But just a heads up, I have used these for cold beverages too, because sometimes I don't want to hold a cold beverage. It makes my hand cold. So I can use a little cup cozy to keep my hand warm. Cup cozies, again, I will include some instructions in the show notes below. You just cast on the number of stitches on the needle size I have indicated. You knit 2x2 ribbing for a certain length. I think there are 3 or 3.5 inches, and then you bind off. These are a great gift idea that can be used over and over again. Now, another idea that is, I think, a thoughtful gift is a Christmas ornament. Now, if you search on Ravelry or just online, you'll find lots of different holiday gift ornament ideas that you can make for people in your life. They tend to use a very little bit of yarn, and they are a thoughtful gift that can be brought out every holiday season. I have a pattern that I have launched on Ravelry, and it is for some colorful Christmas balls. And this is just an idea of something that you can create with leftovers in your stash. So these Christmas balls use Let Lopi, which is a worsted weight yarn. But again, you can use whatever weight you have. If you have fingering weight, you can use that with an appropriate size needle. If you have DK, you can use that too. So whatever yarn you have, in small amounts, you can make lovely Christmas ornaments. These Christmas ornaments, again, use worsted weight, and they use about, well, less than 20 grams for the main color, and then maybe less than 10 grams for the contrast color, depending on which pattern you're doing. So if you had 2 skeins of Let Lopi yarn, which are 50 grams each, you could probably make 4 ornaments, depending on how you use the yarn. So you could definitely use whatever you have in your stash to create some thoughtful Christmas ornaments that you can give to people in your life. I will link to my pattern in the show notes below, but there are many, many different options, so feel free to use your imagination. And finally, the last gift idea I have for you does not involve knitting at all. It's dryer balls. So here's a couple of dryer balls that I've made in the past. All you have to do is go into your stash and see if you have any non-superwash yarn, something that will felt really well. So some ideas of yarns that work really well are Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, the Let Lopi that I talked about, Cascade 220, the non-superwash stuff, anything that's like sort of rustic and grippy that will felt if you throw it in the dryer, perfect for dryer balls. You just wind them up in a tight little ball, sew the end in, and then I throw them into the washer with a load of colorful towels, and I let them run through a couple times, and then I throw them through the dryer so that they felt up, and then they can just live in your dryer. And they help to fluff up your clothes. They can help reduce the dryer time, or the time it takes to dry clothes or linens in your dryer. And they're super useful and can be used for years and years. So dryer balls are a great idea, a gift that you can make really quickly and that can be used over and over and over again by people in your life. I know a lot of us feel the pressure to give gifts that we have made at the holiday time, and I hope that this video has given you some ideas of gifts that you can create that don't take a lot of time and can be made from your stash to be gifted and gratefully received this holiday season. Take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.